Hi, and a very warm welcome to Wellbeing Mission Control. I'm Greg Parry, I'm a wellbeing specialist. And when we're children, we're usually encouraged to show kindness and consideration to family members and strangers because it's considered polite and it makes us more socially acceptable. And I guess on a broader scale, it makes society a better place to live. But there's one application of this concept which is often overlooked, and that's the idea of being kinder and gentler to ourselves. Because I don't know if you've ever noticed, but that little dialogue that's running on a continuous loop in your head, that internal conversation you have with yourself, is often very critical. It's often very judgmental. It comes up with all kinds of negative conclusions about ourselves as well as about others. People see themselves in a mirror and come to alarming conclusions. Too tall, too short, too fat, too thin. We are extraordinarily judgmental. Unfortunately, most of the judgments tend to be pretty negative. And what I'd like to remind you of today is the importance of learning to be kind and gentle with yourself. Now, I know in some quarters that's immediately interpreted as an excuse for self-indulgence, as if the faults and foibles and the weaknesses that we experience every day are somehow totally acceptable. But that's not the point of this. It's a way of redressing the balance, a way of introducing a more positive set of values when it comes to considering ourselves, because we are not perfect. We're a work in progress. And for the work to move more smoothly with less resistance, it's so much more effective if we can remove those layers of negative judgment that create all kinds of obstacles to making improvements. It's as if we've already condemned ourselves with this internal dialogue before we even begin to try to make changes, improvements, and look for personal growth in ourselves. It sometimes makes me smile because what I'd love to do is attach a huge sign, maybe in neon, right behind you that just says, be kind to yourself, be gentle with yourself. So every time you get a glimpse behind you, you'd see this sign reminding you of the importance to be just more accepting. Because if you really want to introduce change into your life, this is the perfect starting point. But to be fair about the total impact of being kinder to yourself, it's an extremely positive mechanism for improving not just the quality of your life in general terms, but in very specific areas. It does improve health, well-being. It can lower the stress that impacts on your immune response, improving digestion, sleep, concentration, creativity. Yeah, it's a long list. It's all positive. And one of the hidden benefits of developing a more positive attitude towards yourself is that as you feel more comfortable, more accepting, being kinder and gentler with yourself, you find that it extends naturally, automatically to the people you encounter. And that's going to make the world a better place, not just for you, but for the people that you meet every single day. What do you think? I really appreciate your comments and the communication you've shared with me. If you have any ideas, comments, suggestions, or experiences you'd like to share, feel free to get in touch. It's always a pleasure to hear from you. And in the meantime, please allow me to wish you a wonderful day as you remember to be kind and gentle with yourselves as well as with others.